What's up guys, welcome back to one of my YouTube videos, and in this YouTube video I'm going to be playing World of Airports, so yeah.
Lot 4967, handling started TOBT in 6:11 minutes.
She was there for about a year, not just for being blind older, but due to her age, her backside white, and that's kind of a deal breaker for a lot of people. It's like that get overlooked, and I was drawn to wanting to help her. When I adopted her the first few days, I was very anxious, worrying how she's going to adjust. She didn't explore as intricately as perhaps other cats would due to her blindness. She kind of just stayed in the middle of the room. She didn't really, she didn't try to go on the couch or climb a bookshelf or anything. Just kind of getting there and just getting the feeling for what it is. In the way. And try not to move anything out of its usual place. A towel underneath her arms so she could feel when she's used to have rugs around the house. So she could feel when she's touching the rug when she's in the kitchen as opposed to carpet. Towel and the rugs to her spot to try to help her learn her way around. She weighed 16 pounds. We bought a food scale. I weighed every meal, so I knew exactly how many calories she was eating, and I know that wet food has less calories than dry food. Plus, her teeth were in such good shape, so she was so with the wet food she's getting extra fluid, making sure that she's getting water. I fed her on a schedule, so breakfast, snack, and dinner at the same time every week helps her get into a routine so that she doesn't think that she can just meow and look cute and I'll feed her at any time. And also, I don't leave food out all the day for her food needs because that's therefore they might stand overeating or just eating for pleasure food, just like us. When I adopted her in 2018, she weighed 16 pounds. Now she weighs 8 pounds.
CSA lines 8379er, line up and wait runway 24.
The pilots struggle to control their crippled aircraft. We're in trouble. I don't know why. The plane is behaving as it is. Operators not working. Spoilers not
Cityliner 2831, line up and wait runway 24.
Qantas Airways Flight 72 cruises above the Indian Ocean, headed for Western Australia. That is not in the sky.
Wizz Air 64326, line up and wait runway 24.
Flight attendant Fuzzy Mayama is just finishing meal service.
I want to travel the world for free. I want to see the sights and, the great cities and then travel well. And when you do that, just become a flight attendant. This is one of my favorites. I just totally enjoy doing it. I just want to get out and show my fleet, I guess, and just make people smile and be happy,
Yes. Today, Fuzzy's been asked to keep a close eye on two young sisters traveling without their parents.
Got a call from my manager. Okay, Buzzy, I'm going to put these lovely deals into your care. You take care of it because, you're a father, you're a grandfather.
And for my special guest, the finest peaches. Now, don't forget, please keep those seatbelts on, right?
I explained to them that, the seatbelts must be on at all times. Unless you want to go to the bathroom.
The plane is an Airbus A330, a twin jet with the latest in aviation technology on board.
The A330 is a new generation fly-by-wire aircraft. It's highly automated, and the advantages are easy to fly, easy to manage, and protected.
Flight 72 departed from Singapore. The flight path covers almost 2,500 miles across the southern Indian Ocean to Perth, Australia.
Alright, Ross, out of my way. Captain's back in action.
Captain Kevin Sullivan is a former Top Gun fighter pilot with the U.S. Navy.
The flight was a long tour duty day, so the three of us will take scheduled rest breaks.
And make a quick laboratory run? Go ahead.
Ross Hales is the second officer.
The second officer was from General Aviation, had been in the company for 12 months, very competent young pilot.
First Officer Peter Lipsit is the next pilot scheduled to go on break.
So Peter, what's the update? We're 100 nautical miles from the coast. Weirmouth is to our left. And still cruising at 37,000. Alright, have a good rest.
First officer was a former Royal Australian Navy helicopter pilot, very competent and experienced as a pilot.
There are
Lot
303
4967, line up and wait runway 24.
on board. Perfect weather is making for a comfortable flight.
We're over the ocean, and things are very smooth.
Any changes? Altitude and airspeed's the same. Smooth sailing. And don't tell me I just jinxed this.
The captain notices his autopilot is no longer engaged.
Autopilot 1 disconnects, and now hand fly. It's a bit annoying, but we have two systems.
Engaging autopilot 2.
I engaged autopilot 2, and no sooner had I done that than we started getting overspeed and stall warnings.
Oh, you can't show me a lot of awareness. Oh. Overspeed warning. Oh. How can we be in a stall and overspeed at the same time? We can't.
In the cabin, there is no sign of trouble at all. But a growing list of errors and warnings is filling the pilot's cockpit display.
Sapphire 1 fall.
That's not right.
They don't understand why.
Airspeed's unreliable.
Disconnecting autopilot. That's the first phase of unreliable speed. Memory checklist. Autopilot off.
Easy 23631. Startup and pushback approved.
My thinking is all hands on deck. This is going to be a complex scenario to work through, and I want the first officer back on the flight to assist us.
Flight attendant Fuzzy Mayama finally has a moment to grab a bite to eat.
I want to back. I'll go with the other.
Hey, Clem. What do you want?
Our seats have evaporated.
Diane and Peter are a couple who both work the Qantas. Today they're off duty.
We were celebrating. We were COVID. And I'm looking around like, I'm hungry. I'm focused on food. Yes, I focused on the timer. 13 seconds. 13 seconds was the action time. Wanted to see what's up for disappearing, like away from my feet. We were going up.
Sudden G-forces pull passengers up from their seats. Anyone not strapped in hits the cabin ceiling.
Actually, bang. I must have hit the ceiling because it knocked me out. I'm not sure how long it was for, maybe 2-3 seconds, 10. I just wasn't sure.
Oscar Hotel, Juliet Foxtrot Sierra. Line up and wait runway 24.
So that's from the back of the seat and pushes forward as well. That's quite disorienting.
Flight 72 is suddenly in a dangerous nosedive. Captain Sullivan grabs the side stick to try to level his plane.
Oscar Hotel, Juliet Foxtrot Sierra.
Once I pulled back on the stick and nothing happened.
Easy 23631. Line up and wait runway 24.
I basically had to brace myself with my right hand as I pulled back with the left.
The captain releases the side stick, with his plane still speeding downward.
I'm confused. Why is he doing this? It's not me doing it. It's the aircraft.
Then he tries it again. This time, the response. The plane starts to level off.
Oscar Echo, Golf Bravo Delta. Line up and wait runway.
Peter, I can help the seat blood gushing out of his head. The oxygen masks were dangling down, just swaying. I thought, something's happened, something's wrong, something's really wrong.
Aviator 1 resolved. What's next? Print 3 fault.
The pilots struggle to resolve the cascade of warnings on their screen.
Aviator 1 fault again. No. What the hell is going on? No.
I couldn't get Peter up. You're still in and out of consciousness, managed to sort of like put his hand up on the rail, and then next moment,
I remember that big that way. Roar. Yeah. I controlled for the long time. Together I could break myself against the force. And of course,
get tickets now to Final Destination. Bloodlines 316.
Once again, the captain's controls are slow to respond. Finally, he manages to return his plane to level flight.
I looked back up. I could see the two sisters who were at the back end. Facing what was on the aisle. She was looking at me, screaming. She was like, what keeps me or put your hand down? To reach out to me. But I couldn't move. I felt so useless. Because they were my responsibility. So I took to her because I have children too.
Attention passengers, this is the captain speaking. We are taking a flight control cost. Everyone is remaining seated with their seatbelts fastened.
after the second pitch down, I'm starting to get a bit cranky. I don't know why the plane is behaving as it is. My inputs aren't stopping this behavior.
It's carnage out there. Broke my nose. Congratulations. Sit down. Strap in. We're in trouble.
I've never used those words in my whole flying career. But that day, we were in trouble.
Normally, pilots fly with just a 3-point seatbelt around their laps. But the unpredictable situation now calls for the full 5-point seatbelt harness.
I sort of turned to Diane, and Diane looked at me, and I thought, we're finished. I was always praying for it to happen quick.
You need to divert. Probably got that stopsh. You might not make it.
Sundair 90063, line up and wait runway 24.
Come on, it's close. These runways can handle an A330.
Let's get an injury report from the captain.
Flight 72 was almost 1,000 kilometers from its destination. The captain wants to know how his passengers are faring after the sudden, violent upset.
Okay, thanks. We have broken bones.
VRA Athens 1945, start up and pushback approved.
Declaring it. Mayday, Qantas 72. Diverting direct to their mark.
The information you got was that it was emergency and an emergency landing.
Cityliner 90054, line up and wait runway 24.
Australian police force is among the first to learn about Flight 72's emergency.
We had some distance to cover. It was important to get there as quick as possible.
Hello, tracks on there. Doesn't float breathing. This is the captain speaking. We are aware of the injuries and are diverting to the rear line. A medical team is underway.
I looked myself, okay, we're good on the front. We've got an action plan, so we've got time to secure ourselves. But Diane, amazing woman, strong, focused, extra strength that you don't know you have. You know, we're all dying.
Ross, have you been booked for a new one?
I'm trying, but they're not letting me enter anything.
We tried to interact with our navigation computers. They were not cooperating.
Okay, fine. We're doing a visual approach and a 10-mile flight.
As the pilots prepare for an uncertain approach into Learmonth, emergency personnel prepare for the potential disaster to come.
I'm going to put some thought in this thing. Somebody introduce us to our drug.
Delta 4490, handling started TOBT in 1736 minutes.
So we knew it was going to be an urgent situation.
Auto brakes not working. Spoilers not working. Computer 1's not working.
With so many error messages, the pilots don't know which systems they can rely on during the landing attempt.
At that stage, I'm thinking, okay, what's working?
BRA Athens 1945, line up and wait runway 24.
And that's good enough, at least for us to get over to Learmonth.
So we don't have much, but we do have actions. Any questions? Looks like I picked a bad day to give up sniffing glue.
I use the line from the airplane movie. Brings the stress level down.
Qantas Flight 72 begins its final descent to Learmonth. Sullivan can only hope his plane will respond properly and not drop again.
That is my biggest threat. We're in a badly degraded airplane. We're still getting stalled in overspeed warnings. And now we start getting master caution chimes. There are no procedures in our operating manuals for what we are dealing with. And we'll have to gather further information to see exactly what else is not working.
Lots to do.
At 11,000 feet, the captain does an early control check to determine if at least his flaps are working.
We extend the flaps to position 2. Slow the speed down to that flat limit speed. We'll do a few turns, see if it works. Turn left, turn right. Feels okay. That's good enough for me.
All right. Let's go.
Passengers can do nothing but pray they make it safely to the runway. For the pilots of Qantas Flight 72, tensions rise as they bring their crippled A330 in for an emergency landing.
Altitude's decreasing.
Cancel line 6345, line up and wait runway 24.
It's quite a tense period because we're approaching a point where any pilot response to a pitch down is not going to have any effect. If something does happen close to the ground, we probably will not survive.
The former fighter pilot decides the situation calls for an extreme technique.
Here we go.
Something he learned in the Navy.
We have a maneuver called a cautionary emergency landing. It's a high energy, high rate of descent approach.
The A330 no longer has enough altitude to recover from a dive at normal landing speed. But at a higher speed, it may be able to generate enough lift to recover if trouble strikes again.
If I have energy in the form of speed, I have maneuvering potential to bring the nose up above the horizon before the airplane doesn't have a pitch down.
The military maneuver quickly brings them to within striking distance of the runway.
Here now.
Here now.
Lots 3.
The runway is long enough for an A330 in perfect working order. But with so many systems in doubt, will Flight 72 be able to stop in time?
The automation was almost moved that day. We're trying to manage that kind of distraction. What's real, what's not real. Cheering.
The brakes work, and the pilots are able to slow the plane down.
But we're at Claremont Airport. There's not much assistance, and it's going to be a long day.
Doors flung wide open. It was the first responders.
We went on into the plane, the rear. It was quite clear we had a significant trauma.
Occurred to see the panels dislodged, the bloody bandages. My heart was breaking, and it was broken that day.
Stand-up memory for me would have to be the two sisters. I was really glad they were okay to us. I could take that and say to myself that, Lizzie, here you go.
In the cockpit, the first officer gathers up page after
Chan
page
X5139er, line up and wait runway 24.
We all looked. The first thing was 10 simultaneous failures at the same time marker. Where's the clock? I looked at the two other pilots and I said, I think we're pretty lucky to be here. Because it was a total systems failure.
medical responders get injured passengers off the plane. Amazingly, everyone survives, but many are seriously injured, including Fuzzy.
It's been a really rough time since the incident. I've been in hospitals.
Fuzzy sustained injuries to his head, knees, back, and shoulder. The physical pain and emotional scars from the accident linger.
When the pain comes on, it always triggers flashbacks and nightmares. The pain that I'm experiencing every day, I would wish that on anyone.
We have taught everything every morning.
This is real.
Exactly. You'll know how real it is because of how it tastes.
One might say we're synonymous with shopping for homes.
Yes.
Wizz Air 68467, handling started TOBT in 10, 39er minutes.
Welcome back. Today we're going to have our minds exploded with facts that are earth-shattering. Or rather, I'm going to have my mind blown and you're going to make fun of me for not knowing this stuff already. We're looking at little-known but obvious facts, and we're going to sort by, like, the most notorious of all time. So we're going to start with one that blew the most people's minds and work our way down. That being said, this is kind of my domain, so I'm probably going to be the most... Why do we call it W? It's a double D, you know? It looks more like D's, not U's. And it's just like a general, like, hit, kind of Jimmy Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld, kind of observational, humorous thing. And then they're not actually expecting an answer. But I'm over in the corner like, go and go. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you. We're going to jump into it. Let's go. It was never mentioned that Humpty Dumpty was an egg. This is what I think about sometimes. This is my Roman Empire, if you remember that whole thing. Humpty Dumpty was not an egg, or at least they never said he was an egg. It was a song about Humpty Dumpty sitting on a big wall, and then some say that Humpty Dumpty had a big wall, and then some say all the king's horses and all the king's men came and like put them back together. That's the gist of the song that I remember. We know him as an egg guy, a little egg character, but they didn't say that in the song. So someone just made that up at one point in time, and we were like, yeah, that makes sense. And to be fair, it does kind of make sense. I don't know what else you could be referring to. What other sentient object could be named Humpty Dumpty other than an egg? You know, there's people that say like, oh, it was actually like a cannon on the castle wall, or the wall like fell, and like put it back together. Like, okay, that's cool and all, that makes sense.
Well, that's good for the end of this YouTube video, and